Guardians. Destiny 2 has discussed their power reset update in their latest TWAB. Let's read it here. It says, Destiny 2 Renegades Power Reset Update. In keeping with our commitment to hear and act on player feedback, we have some major changes to announce to how seasonal power will carry over at the beginning of Season 28 and the launch of Destiny 2 Renegades. Seasonal power will carry over from the Season 27. Tooltips will be updated to reflect the removal of the seasonal power reset. Unstable cores will carry over. Since this announcement, we've seen some general questions about the power cap at unstable core economy. We have no plans to raise the power cap at this time. It will remain at 550 through Renegades. Our next priority for unstable cores is to revisit the economy and address player feedback around this currency. We plan to have more details in a future TWID. Stay tuned. In addition to this, we will be adding a power catch-up in update 9.1.5.1 on October 14th to give new and returning players a boost up to 300 power. As a reminder, we're also introducing a number of important adjustments to activity rewards and power climb in next week's update. Read on for a recap. So this is kind of interesting. At one of the lowest points in Destiny 2's player base history, the lowest player count, they are adding a 300 power boost for new and returning players. They really believe people are going to come back to this game for changes, or at least they're really banking on Renegades to really pull people in. Also, at the launch of Edge of Fate and throughout this latest season, the game has been more about how can I make my number go bigger rather than how can I make a build to do this certain particular content. With the cup half full, what I'm kind of hoping or maybe excited about is they're really banking on the vibe of Destiny changing from make my power light go higher to let's make a build to do this particular content. So I'm hoping more content comes in Renegades and we'll be able to do a lot of different activities and adventures and different storylines. You know, they are adding a Star Wars vibe to it, but it's going to be very much Destiny 2 with Destiny 2 stories and characters and stuff. So I'm hoping this will allow us to grind for gear, turn that gear into a particular build, and then go do different content or more difficult content. Because lately what it's been is, all right, well, I'm just going to farm for the, do the best farm for getting light level higher. And some of the more difficult content has a gear requirement. Like you have to use certain acceptable gear instead of just whatever you'd like to run. Also, it says here in the portal and power progression changes update 9.1.5.1, as we outlined last month, update 9.1.5.1, I'm repeating this a lot, will include tuning adjustments to how players interact with and progress in the portal. When this update goes live October 14th, this will include bumps of power earned on rewards, reductions to the difficulty caps at higher difficulties, and the removal of activity power increases when adding challenging modifiers to custom activities. Here is a selection of some of the imminent changes. We're speeding up the power climb with more powerful drops in solo ops, fireteam ops, pinnacle ops. Almost every activity grade for each power range will see improved drops. The extra bonus engram rewards you get on top of your completion prizes will not have the same power as the engrams from the end of activity chest. Power adjustments has been removed from all challenge modifiers. Instead, players are capped in effective power within each difficulty tier. Normal difficulty delta cap 0, advanced -10, expert -15, master -20, grandmaster -25, ultimate -30. Players will no longer have difficulty tiers auto-selected for them until they meet the power level of the activity. Since a vast majority of players will be at 300 power or above going forward due to the catch-up chest. Normal, advanced, and expert quick play nodes have been removed as the expert matchmaking tier from direct launch so that you can find people when you try to matchmake. The new node replacing these has been adjusted so that anyone from 10 to 399 can earn good rewards from it. Be sure to read the full 925 TWAB for a deeper dive into what's changing. Pretty interesting that they're basically taking the one thing we have in the game right now, make power level go bigger, and they're just making it quicker. So eventually the only thing you have left is to just make the content harder, like raids and all that, in order to, you know, use your builds. What, again, I'm hopeful for is that in the next coming expansion, you're going to have a lot of different types of content to allow us to utilize the gear that we've been grinding for and make builds so that we experience this content in a more fun way rather than how efficient can we make our light level go up. I have always not really liked the light level grind, especially when we're doing it for a day one raid. It's the most monotonous, not fun thing to do. Do the most efficient thing you can do as fast as you can do with the most efficient build over and over and over and over again. It's so boring, and it's even more watered down in Age of Fate with solo ops being available. You know, doing just the Caldera mine farm, all that stuff. But what I'm hopeful is now that we'll all pretty much be max level by the time Renegades comes out, it's going to be about what you do with your gear, what you do with your light level, not how can you get your light level higher faster. But this particular piece of content, dungeon, because there's a new dungeon coming, and you know, the new raid that's already here and stuff, you know, what kind of builds will make this really fun and challenging or just amazing? Because that's what I really like about Destiny 2 is when build crafting started to take a larger role into the game, I had a lot of fun. Just having things synergize together to either increase my ad clear or increase my damage. It was a really fun thing that I discovered. I'm just a casual player, really. I have fire team members that do higher DPS and are just a lot more knowledgeable at the game. So when I started tapping into things they were experiencing and experimenting with, it was really fun, and it made me want to become a better guardian. The light level grind is just whatever. I don't like it. And what I usually would do is just go play PvP stuff. And we all know we haven't gotten a new map in years, and the gameplay and game modes haven't really changed much. It's all been kind of the same, and that's kind of boring to me. I wish the PvP was a little bit more exciting. Sometimes, you know, when you kind of get a fun meta going, that's really fun. But when it's something else that I don't like, you know, my favorite thing is to use is like hand cannons and sidearms and sniper rifles. When the meta is something else, I kind of tune out. So tell me what you guys think about these changes. You know, the Renegades is not getting a higher cap. It's going to stay at 550, and the portal and power progression changes are going to basically increase the grind, you know, make us get to higher light level faster. What do you think of these changes? Comment below and tell me, is this going to bring you back to Destiny 2, or is this simply going to let you choose a time right before Renegades, grind through, get to 550 light, and then jump into Renegades? Or are you completely done with Destiny 2? Leave in the comments below, like and share, and have a good day.